Ah, yes, West to Motorsports, ahoy. How is everybody doing? Monday morning for me. I don't know about everybody else everywhere in the world, but Monday morning for me, the Bahrain Grand Prix. Ready to go now. Obviously, we did this last time for the Japanese Grand Prix. We had a lot of fun. It was a slightly different time of day. It was nice and early in the evening, nice and early in the afternoon for us here in Australia. Not so much tonight. It is 12:45 in the AM, 45 minutes past midnight, but hey, I mean, that's not too late. Some people have to get up for work in the morning. That's all good and well. Thankfully for me, this is my work. I've been very blessed with that fact. Bahrain Grand Prix not far away from the start. Oscar Piastri, of course, Aussie boy, landed pole position and will surely, you would think, unless either Oscar himself or McLaren have an almighty brain fart and screw this up, you would think that Piastri, or of course something like rain or a safety car, of course, could play a part as well. But unless something catastrophic happens, Oscar Piastri should cruise through to victory And I wouldn't be surprised. Lando's in 6th. McLaren, obviously, they've got a decent car this season. Could Lando fight his way up for a podium? Antonelli, Gasly, Russell and Leclerc in front of him. It'll be interesting to see. I've had a cheeky little wager on the trifecta. Piastri, Russell, and Lando Norris. So we'll see. They can finish in absolutely any order. And I still get the W there. So it is going to require Leclerc to drop down. Which is unfortunate, but we'll see. Dylan Bransby over there on TikTok. Ahoy, Dylan. Welcome along. Aussie boy gets up. Yes, I'll drink to that. We haven't stayed up until 12:45 in the morning for Oscar not to race away with this one, so to speak. Cruise away to a big victory in the McLaren. There he is, looking very focused. There's our boy, looking very, very focused indeed. Ready to get the job done. He's just so, like, Oscar is just so cool, calm, and collected. Ice running through the veins, as they say. And he should get the job done here tonight. As I was saying, out on pole. Should do it relatively easy. 57 laps, of course, this race. And hoping for some excitement further down the grid. We don't want any excitement up front. We want Oscar for the win. There will unfortunately be no shoeies on this stream. Shoeies are obviously part of Australian culture. Me personally, I mean, I have done them before. Absolutely. But yeah, they're not exactly the nicest drop that you could ever have. Put it that way. If you've never done one before, the thought of having a drink out of your shoe is about as tasty as you think it would be. Just so that you're aware. The Red Bulls. Max Verstappen in 7th. You just don't expect to see that. I very much doubt that he will finish in 7th. But let's see. I mean, Red Bull obviously don't have the best car on the grid this season. Gasly, I suppose, would be under threat. Antonelli, perhaps, as well. So Max could make up a couple of spaces. Starting down in 7th, though, without the absolute rocket ship Red Bull from a couple of seasons back. Is he going to be able to fight his way up for a podium? In fairness, he does seem to get a lot of luck with safety cars, doesn't he? He's not the only one, of course. Safety cars are part of the sport. Meat pie. Oh, meat pie would be nice right about now. If this race is anything like Suzuka, I might fall asleep for half of it. In fairness, I mean, not a whole lot happened in that Suzuka race, of course. I still enjoyed it. I suppose it was like a very good time for us Australians. Much earlier in the evening. Ava, ahoy there. Yes, this is Formula One. Collingwood. Hang on, I feel like that username goes longer than that. Collingwood, GOAT number 23. Yes, I knew there was something after that. Should be a good race. I'm excited for what's going to happen down further in the grid, inside that top 10. As I was just saying before, you've got Max at 7. I mean, Max is surely not going to finish in 7th. So there'll be some excitement down there. Lando in 6th. McLaren will surely have better race pace, although I said that in Suzuka as well. But you wouldn't expect Max and Norris to still be down in 6th and 7th by the time this race forms its conclusion. So there'll be some excitement there to see how far up the grid those two can get at the very least. Hamilton in 9th with Sainz ahead of him. That should be a good battle. Jai Marshall, ahoy mate. How are you doing tonight? Meat Pie says if Oscar wins and Doohan gets points, it'll be worth staying up for. Where is Doohan starting? Oh, he's in 11th. Yeah, okay. Sonoda right in front of him. Hadjar behind. So there's some interesting little mini battles that will happen throughout the course of this race. All the while with Oscar flying out into the lead and not surrendering it. Not surrendering it. I'll try and speak properly. It's been a big weekend. Been a monster weekend. My birthday weekend, of course. It was my birthday on Thursday night. We covered the Panthers-Dolphins game. We did the Friday night footy. I did the opener, my Cronulla Sharks. My Sharkies got a win for me on my birthday weekend. Much respect to them for that. And now we're jumping over to the Formula One on a Monday morning, bright and early. Stroll, still doing Stroll things. Does anybody play the Formula One manager games? This is not about Lance Stroll, by the way. I love sharing this story. For anyone that plays the Formula One manager games, how they have actual sound bites from the drivers. So I took on Aston Martin, and I took Aston Martin to the very top with Pierre Gasly and Doohan as my 1 and 2 drivers. So I always found it interesting because the very first thing that I did was give Lance Stroll the rocket. Now, you know that's a video game because in real life, Daddy's not going to let that happen. So off he went, Lance Stroll. I brought Doohan in and Pierre Gasly as my main driver. But Pierre Gasly's radio bite, the very first Grand Prix victory that we got with Pierre Gasly driving for my Aston Martin team, he says, I don't know how I've done that. And I thought, wow, the poor guy, they've done him dirty. An official Formula One management game. And one of the driver's radio messages for winning a Grand Prix is, I don't know how I've done that. Poor guy. Anyways, that's one of my more enjoyable stories of video gaming for anybody who does it. Not far away from the race start now, the formation lap. About to get underway, 5 minutes. Still plenty of people out there on the grid. And very much looking forward to this one. Yes, can Charles Leclerc hold on to second spot? Yeah, exactly, Meat Pie. Not even a woohoo. I mean, I realized that they took real life radio from the drivers and just applied it to the video game. They didn't sit the drivers down and record radio specifically for the game. They just took existing race radio and used it. But surely there was something better for Pierre Gasly. Surely somewhere in some practice session or some race, somewhere along the line, he has said something that would have been usable. Took Aston Martin to 6 drivers' championships in a row, 4 of them with Pierre Gasly, and 4 drivers' championships in, winning race after race, and he's still just saying, I can't believe I've done. Surely after 4 years, 4 championships in a row, you might start believing it. So it kind of takes you out of the game a little bit once you get that far into it. But anyway, like I said, no idea if anybody actually plays it. Anyone out there in the chat rooms? West of World of Sports, of course. Rugby Union, Rugby League, now Formula One, and some professional wrestling as well, with our nice little blend of alternative commentary and a few too many brewskis to go along with it. Live on YouTube, live on TikTok, live on Twitch. Welcome along, wherever you may be joining us from in the world and whatever social media platform that you might be joining us from. Now that that's all out of the way, race time. It's about to commence. Lando's not exactly known for his fantastic starts, is he? So he could be under threat from Verstappen immediately. Norris always seems to just be that millisecond off the rest of the drivers. Piastri, I think, will be okay. Should get a... Now, this is interesting, actually. So, Piastri is starting on the softs. Russell and Gasly in third and fourth starting on the softs. Charles Leclerc is on the medium tire. Both Ferraris are on the medium tire, so they'll be looking for a little bit of an extended opening stint. I can't say with any certainty whether that was from... maybe they don't have as many spare softs as the other team. But yes, that's interesting. They're the only team in the top 10 that aren't starting on the soft tire. And we sort of saw this in Suzuka as well, didn't we? We saw Hamilton, at least. I can't recall what Leclerc was doing, but we definitely saw Hamilton start on the hards. So Ferrari, once again, going against the grain, doing something a little bit different to everybody else in the top 10. Quite interesting. So we'll see how that plays out. Maybe Leclerc will come under threat very early on from Russell and Gasly behind. Zoe plays. Ahoy there. How are you, Zoe? Whoa, 1 minute, 50 seconds. Lando Norris down in sixth. Keep an eye on that. Going to go ahead and switch over now to the other screen. Here we go. Charles Leclerc on the medium. Razor 994, ahoy, mate. Razor says, let's go, Piastri. Yes. Come on, Oscar. We want to hear that Aussie national anthem on top of the podium. Doing very well, thank you, Zoe. Wasted Water Sports, of course. Formula One live coverage on TikTok, on YouTube. We'll be doing this from now on for each and every race. So if you are enjoying it, come along, check us out on any of those social media platforms. Have a drink with us, have some banter, and enjoy the race. Bahrain Grand Prix formation lap about to get underway. Razor, didn't you say, was it you? I could be mistaking you for somebody else. Did you say that you were not going to go for McLaren again? I thought you said no more McLaren. That could have been somebody else, though, in fairness. Mr. Lux, ahoy, mate. Welcome along. Off for the formation lap. Lando was definitely sour about placing lower on the grid. Indeed, Razor says Lando was so sour. I didn't actually hear the interview, but I did read about it after the fact. Apparently, he was not happy. And as you would expect, I mean, look, I suppose the thing to remember in fairness is, at the end of the day, a lot of these drivers, they're still young. They're still, in the nicest possible way, maturing. Of course, they're going to get interviewed after a race or a qualifying session, and it hasn't gone the way that they anticipated it to, and they're going to be a little upset. But, excuse me, they're going to be emotional. Some people are just a bit better at containing their emotions. Some people like to wear their heart on their sleeve. We're all different. We're all individuals. So I can understand it. And it must be hard as well. I mean, imagine doing 57 laps and things don't quite go your way. And then somebody comes and sticks a microphone in your face and asks you how you're feeling. I mean, I've got to be honest. I'd probably tee off on quite a few reporters as well. That's what I always loved about Kimi Räikkönen. Kimi Räikkönen was just poker face, don't bother me sort of person. when it came to the media. And I always used to enjoy his media sessions and radio calls. I mean, Kimmy just wanted to be left alone. He knows what he's doing. Formation lap complete. Ready to go racing here. Bahrain, 57 laps. Probably 57 laps of Oscar just racing off into the distance, but it will be everything happening behind him. Charles Leclerc will most likely be under immediate DRS threat from Russell. At the very least, Russell, if not Gasly as well. On the medium tyre, he won't quite have the same pace you would expect in those early laps. Ferrari have taken the punt, and they're going for a slightly extended opening stint, it would appear. So for those actually following along with the race, I do apologize. Here in Australia, there may be a slight delay, a very slight delay on the coverage. At somewhere down the line, you may find yourself a corner or two momentarily ahead of me. We're ready to go, though. And they're off. Piastri gets a great jump as expected. Leclerc tries to move aside and cut off Russell, but Russell's got through. We knew that he'd be... Russell locks up. Russell on the outside of Piastri nearly takes everybody out. But he has recovered in time, and the big story is Lando Norris already up there. Lando Norris already putting an attack on. Leclerc comes back at him, but Norris is on the outside, and with much better grip, much better pace on that soft tyre, he goes flying through. And that is an amazing start from Lando Norris. He has just swept through. And he is up in third position. That is absolutely incredible right there. Piastri leads from Russell and Lando Norris. Lando got off to an absolute dream start. Verstappen and Hamilton go in a battle. Verstappen on the soft tyre, Hamilton, of course, on the medium. Verstappen gets on the inside of Hamilton momentarily, but Hamilton protects that position, cuts him off, holds the racing line, and he stays ahead. What an exciting start to the race that was. Piastri from Russell, who is staying within the DRS zone. Norris a little bit further back, and Leclerc, as expected on that medium tyre, was always going to struggle to hold his position. He's dropped out of DRS range. Or he might be just inside, actually. He's just inside DRS range, which will be crucial for his race. Straight down the main straight, we've got another lockup. That was one of the Haas's. Esteban Ocon locking up into that first corner. Goes a little bit wide. And that will cost him a position. Doohan goes through. And we've got the two Kick Saubers down the bottom of the barrel, 19th and 20th. What an amazing start to the race that was. Piastri leads from Russell and Norris. And remember, that was the wager that I had. So this race has started very well for me. Bahrain Grand Prix. First place, Oscar Piastri. Second, George Russell. Third, Lando Norris. I've got a feeling Russell... Whoops, nearly knocked my microphone over. Russell might be under pressure here. It could be a McLaren 1-2. And if there's any form of safety car... Lando Norris is well and truly in contention with this one. Lap 2 of 57 about to come to an end. It ticks over. Piastri in the lead from Russell and Norris. Lando Norris, what a start he got. I mean, that's really the story here. Lap 3 of 57. Russell drops out of DRS range. As Oscar Piastri now out in that clean air. Shoots off into the distance. Hamilton has been overtaken by Verstappen. Verstappen, of course, as we said, both Ferraris started on the medium compound. So they sort of made themselves easy pickings in some respect. Easy pickings for the rest of the field who started on the softs. Oh, wait a minute. Lando Norris has been flagged by the stewards for a potential false start. Well, I hate to be critical, but that would explain how he got off to such a good start. Lando, he was starting in 6th, I believe. Norris out of position from the start. That would explain how he just suddenly popped up like 3 spots above where he started. So we'll keep an eye on that. That will be a time penalty at the end of the race, should he be found guilty of that. Wow. If that costs me my bet, I'll be furious. That will be very interesting. I went Piastri, Russell, Norris for my podium. And look, I only put $10 on it. $10 would be a $90 return. It's only a small bet, but still, if a Norris false start costs me that bet, it's only $10, but still, I won't be happy because lap 4 of 57, that bet's looking very good. It's Piastri leading from Russell. Norris in 3rd, who's got a very comfortable lead on Charles Leclerc. Molly says, I thought Lando did very well. Oh, Hamilton radio. Hamilton on the radio suggesting that grip is quite poor on the medium tyre. And it probably would be comparatively. Razor 994. I'm not sure. It would surely be a 10-second time penalty. To give the play, he can't give the place back now. It's too late. A jump start, you can't really give the place back. It's not the same as gaining advantage off track. If he's found guilty of a jump start, he's gained 3 places. He can't just... We're 4 laps in, so much has changed. So that there's absolutely no possibility of giving places back. It'll be if he's found guilty, it will be a clear-cut penalty. Antonelli attacks Carlos Sainz and gets through. Antonelli in 6th. And he has got Verstappen right on his tail. Verstappen now has a go at Carlos Sainz. Sainz defends, pushing Verstappen off. Verstappen, dust flies up behind his car, but now he gets through. Well, was he off the track? Was Verstappen off track? We might need to see. Sainz was pushing him wide. Verstappen, if all 4 tyres. Radio call. He doesn't leave me a car's width, says Verstappen on the radio. Oh, we definitely need to see a replay of that. Verstappen going very close here to all 4 tyres. And here's a replay of the start. Norris didn't really appear to get too much of a jump start. In my opinion, he actually went off really well. They will have all sorts of telemetry and data and statistics. They'll be able to analyze that and find out exactly when he put his foot down and got started. Here's another replay. We might get us. Oh, he did have a slight jump. Oh, and Verstappen's right onto it. Verstappen on the... Yes, he's over his grid box. This is clear cut, I'm afraid. Oh, this looks like it's pretty clear cut. So he didn't jump start. He was outside his grid box. Just to confirm exactly what's going on there with Lando Norris. He was ahead of his grid box at the start. So it wasn't a jump start. He was just over the grid box. If he has got just a little bit of tire on that white line, he'll be fine. But I've got to say, he looks like he was over by some way. And it was interesting that Verstappen was actually the one that jumped on the radio to his team and said Lando is over the grid box. So we'll keep you updated on that. 5 laps out of 57. Done and dusted, and it is still Piastri from Russell, from Norris. Norris with that pending penalty for being out of position at the start. Leclerc still doing well to hold 4th position, Leclerc, on that medium compound. Hamilton's been on the radio complaining about the medium tyre. We haven't heard anything from Charles Leclerc just yet, but he seems to be doing quite well, maintaining 4th spot. Lando Norris, oh my goodness. I hope he hasn't cost me this I hope he hasn't cost me this multi. I really do. $10 I had Oscar Piastri, George Russell, Lando Norris, 1, 2, 3. Oh, can Norris get himself for 10 seconds ahead of Charles Leclerc and Pierre Gasly, that chasing pack, down in 4th and 5th. And into the pits comes Isaac Hadjar. This is an early pit stop. He surely... oh, no, it looks like just a straight tyre change. And onto the mediums goes Isaac Hadjar, 7 laps into the race. That seems incredibly early. Incredibly early. Seven laps of the 57 gone. Oh, radio from Gasly says Leclerc is struggling a lot with the medium tyre. Gasly on the soft, of course. Everyone was on the soft in the top 10 apart from Ferrari. As Hamilton has dropped down to 9th. Tsunoda is closing in on Lewis, doing just behind Tsunoda. Lewis Hamilton on that medium tyre that he has been complaining about is about to be under threat from Tsunoda and Doohan. It hasn't been confirmed yet, Molly, by the way. He's been noted. It could be a 5-second penalty. Oh, there we go. It's just been confirmed. 5-second time penalty for Norris. False start, out of position. So there we go. It is officially a 5-second time penalty for Lando Norris. He's got 4.5 on Leclerc at the moment. So that should be okay. That should be okay. It is official now. And they're on the radio now to Norris, just letting him know. And they're letting him know it's all good. We've been given the penalty. Get ahead of Russell. And he's in DRS zone right now on George Russell. He can put an attack on. And that has been the call from the team radio from McLaren. Get ahead of Russell. We'll get these positions. It's okay. Oh, I've just spilt my drink all over myself. Within DRS, Norris will surely breeze past George Russell at some point here, not too soon, not in the not too distant future. 5-second penalty confirmed for Lando Norris. So George Russell, he just needs to play spoiler here. He doesn't necessarily, well, I mean, you would want to keep Lando behind for a little bit at least, but knowing that Norris has got that 5-second penalty incoming, he doesn't necessarily have to fight as hard as he normally would, if that makes sense. If he's confident that he can stick with the McLaren, Don't burn your tires up too badly trying to defend, because you know you've got that 5 seconds incoming. Leclerc on the radio. Hamilton was complaining about the grip on the tires. Leclerc's on the radio complaining about the brakes being inconsistent as Lewis Hamilton dives down the inside of Carlos Sainz, but then has a little bit of a wobble as he exits the corner. Sainz comes back at him and cuts back on the inside to reclaim that position. On the soft compound, Hamilton on the mediums just couldn't make that corner stick. Sainz runs wide, gives Hamilton the inside line. But Sainz once again holds on. It's a nice little battle, that one. And in amongst that battle, Yuki Tsunoda has joined the party, and he is now right on the tail of Lewis Hamilton. DRS open for both Hamilton and Tsunoda. Hamilton breezes past with the DRS, holds the corner this time. Tsunoda sweeps through the inside of Sainz as well, who now locks up. And Sainz has got himself under pressure now from Doohan, who's right behind him. So Carlos Sainz, he did extremely well to hold off Hamilton that first time. Hamilton came back at him. Okay, Piastri's on the radio saying, starting to struggle a little bit. Pit stop might not be too far away here. As Kimi Antonelli with DRS wide open has a lunge at Gasly. Gasly with the inside line. Through he goes, covers it off. And Doohan's into the pits. Doohan's into the pits. The pit stops. They'll be a starting. Here they come. Hunter. Ahoy there. Gasly and Leclerc have reported multiple times. Struggling. Leclerc struggling with the mediums. Hamilton's on the radio. The softs are starting to struggle, says his team from the pit wall. Okay, soft tires starting to struggle. But we've heard Hamilton complain about the mediums. Leclerc's not happy with his brakes. As Verstappen now thought about having a go at Gasly. Gasly defends well. Verstappen still in 7th, which I believe is exactly where he started. He does have the DRS advantage on Gasly, though, so just biding his time. It is still 10 laps in. Piastri from Russell, from Norris. Piastri's got 3.5 gap now, and Norris has been told to box. Lando Norris has been told to box. Norris dives into the pits. Can he get a good stop here? Oh, he's serving the penalty. Norris is serving his 5-second penalty as well, by the way. 7.7 seconds, the stop time. And into the pits as well comes one of the Red Bulls. That was Verstappen. Gasly's in the pits. They're all starting to pit now. They're all starting to pit. And that will shake up the grid just a little bit. Verstappen with a little bit of a slow stop. And that has shaken up the grid. Piastri from Russell. Leclerc back in 3rd. Antonelli in 4th. And Hamilton in 5th. Leclerc and Hamilton on that medium tyre. Will stay out for a few laps longer at least. And Norris, he comes out having served his time penalty now in 14th spot, so he can just go about his work. Hunter says that medium paying off now for Hamilton. And Leclerc, the Ferraris, could they find themselves in a good position now as those soft tires started to fall away? Verstappen's on the radio, and he's not happy. He is not happy with the pit stop. Verstappen is furious at that pit stop. It was noticeably slower as far as Red Bull goes. Noticeably slower. And Maxi Boy not happy at all with that. Hamilton, 44, cruising. Oh, he goes. He had a little bit of a wobble there on that corner as he goes a little bit wide. Tsunoda's in the pits now. Tsunoda exits in 19th place. The pit stop was a car error. See, he didn't actually elaborate, Max. He just said, am I allowed to say it? I don't think I'm allowed to swear on these streams. I'm not sure. He wasn't happy, though. He said a naughty word, and then man at the end of it into the radio. Yeah, something happened in the pits, Patter. Something happened in the pits for Max. It was a longer pit stop than normal. Tsunoda down in 19th after he's exited the pit. 13 laps out of 57 completed. It's Piastri. From Russell and Leclerc. Antonelli's in the pits. Smooth sailing there from the Mercedes. Antonelli should come out ahead of... will he get out ahead of Norris? No, Norris goes through. He'll find himself a nice little gap here, though, Antonelli. With the Alpine. Jason Callaway, ahoy, mates. Jason Callaway says, good morning. Go, 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 Russell. Verstappen, indeed, on the hard tyre. Verstappen, the only driver on the hard. He wouldn't be going to one stop, would he? So here we go. Tsunoda's on the radio. Yellow was flashing. Man, oh my God. So both Red Bull drivers furious at the pit stops. Seemed like the red light was stuck. Red Bull's slowest stop of the season as Piastri with a commanding lead here, 6.2. Russell's into the pits. Let's see what he goes with. George Russell in the pits. Hamilton up into third position. And Russell has gone for, what's his compound? Russell comes out in 8th. George Russell out in 8th place. 14 of 57 laps done. It's Piastri from the two Ferraris now. Leclerc and Hamilton. And how nice is it to see Williams, Sainz and Albon? That takes me back to when I first started watching Formula One, and Williams were the team to beat. Ayrton Senna, one of my all-time favorites. Yeah, I'm old. What can I say? 14 of 57 laps. Piastri is just dominating this race, though. Oh, and now he's told to box. Okay, does this turn it around? Piastri is boxing. Matty Colkin, ahoy, mate. Into the pits comes Oscar Piastri from the race lead. Leclerc and Hamilton, you would expect to go both go through on those medium tires. Leclerc and Hamilton, who is now coming down the straight, cruises through. And we have a Ferrari 1-2, for the time being at least. Obviously, on the medium compound, the Ferraris have stayed out. And they find themselves 1-2. Piastri re-enters the race in third. So he has just held off Alexander Albon in the Williams, who has DRS. And we did talk about it at the top, didn't we? The top of the stream, we discussed what's going to happen. Ferrari, the only team in the top 10 that have done something different to the rest. It's paying off at the moment, that extended opening stint. Will they be able to enjoy enough of a pace advantage, though, to make this call stick late in the race? Oh, Ferrari are praying for a safety car right now. Verstappen currently down in 10th on the hard compound. He's got the DRS on Esteban Ocon, though. As Russell now leaps up into 4th spot, overtaking Albon. Albon still on the softs. Sainz has come into the pits. He comes out now in 16th spot. Still in the DRS range of Hulkenberg. George Russell now. Jason Callaway is up to 4th on that medium compound. 2 seconds behind Piastri. Leclerc and Hamilton, of course, yet to pit, hoping for a safety car or something to really turn this race Ferrari's way. And Gasly has a dive down the inside on Alonso, and breezes past with the DRS up into 7th spot. Leclerc just receives radio that they're still on for plan B. Bravo. And Leclerc hits back and says, I think it's Delta for me. Does anyone know what all these Ferrari code words are? Bravo, Delta. They all mean. What do they all mean? Yeah, they keep it secret. For good reason. Sometimes I wonder if they even know. Fatima, ahoy there. Do we think McLaren can 1-2? Oh, yeah. I mean, look, 16 laps of 57. Anything can happen. Delta is a one-stop. Oh, we've got some inside Ferrari knowledge. I love it. Razor says, on the rums, Dan. You know it. You know it, my friend. Captain Morgans. Albon's in the pits for Williams. And that'll drop him down. It was so nice seeing the Williams so far up the grid, even if it was only momentarily because they hadn't pitted. You still love to see it. Verstappen is now in 8th spot. Race control notes a pit lane incident. Antonelli now attacking Verstappen. Verstappen defends the inside line and covers him off. They're both within DRS range of poor old Esteban Ocon. Ahead of him, or ahead of them, I should say. They're in 7th spot. Ocon will do very well to hold off these two chasers. Verstappen just a little bit far back on this occasion. Just within DRS range. Opens up that rear wing now. And here he comes. Verstappen too far back to make a lunge on this occasion. And as a matter of fact, didn't really make up all that much ground on Esteban Ocon. As Ferrari are ready in the pit lane. And in comes Charles Leclerc from the race lead. Leclerc from the race lead. Switching medium to medium. Leclerc's gone from medium to medium. Which means he is definitely pulling a two-stopper. Oh, and they've double-stacked. Hamilton's in as well. And Hamilton's gone on the mediums. It looks like Hamilton's gone the mediums as well. Ferrari have double stacked. Gone onto the mediums. And Hamilton will come out right behind Yuki Tsunoda in 11th spot. Ahead of Hadjar and Sainz. So he's maintained position there comparatively. Leclerc comes out in 5th. Verstappen's on the radio. No tyre grip at all for Verstappen on the hard. Ollie Behrman is on the hard as well. Alexander Albon's on the hard. Liam Lawson's on the hard. Verstappen on the radio saying no grip on the hard tyre. Hunter says Ferrari doesn't consider the one stop. No, they've both locked themselves into a two-stop now. Both Ferrari drivers locked into a two-stopper now. They went from medium to medium. And, of course, you have to use the two different compounds throughout the race. Jason Calloway says, I learned something, Dan. There is no number 17, as the number 17 was taken off in remembrance of someone who died in a race accident. There you go. Hunter says, I think I know why they stayed away. Verstappen hards. Hey, do we reckon that Max might be pulling a Swiftie? Could Red Bull be pulling a Swiftie here on Ferrari? Complaining on the radio about the tyres so that they don't switch to the hards. And Ferrari have fallen for it. We obviously heard that radio call on the TV after Ferrari had already pitted, but it doesn't mean that that's when the radio call was made. Or if it's been the only one. You know, there's a lot of games that go on behind the scenes here in Formula One. A lot of fun and games go on from the pit wall, which is all part of it. People think if people are new to Formula One or they don't follow Formula One and you think it's all just about the driver's obviously a very big part of it, but there's a lot of fun and games that go on that pit wall. Strategy, pit stops, all of it gets taken into account. They do try and sucker each other into some interesting calls from time to time, don't they? So 19 laps in, 20 laps now, sorry. 20 laps in, Piastri leads from Russell and from Norris. So my bet is looking very good at the moment, I must say. I did put a $10, cheeky little $10 wager on Piastri, Russell, Norris. 1, 2, 3, podium. A cheeky little $10 wager, which will return $90 profit if it gets up. And it's looking all right at the moment. 20 laps into this one as Verstappen trying to hold off Kimi Antonelli. Antonelli has got the DRS open, has a look down the outside, and now cuts back on the inside and overtakes Verstappen. Antonelli has done Verstappen on the inside. The crisscross, and through he goes. Verstappen down to 8th. Kimi Antonelli, what a maneuver. Lando is 1.3 back from George Russell, just out of the DRS zone. They're in 3rd spot. Kimi Antonelli. Antonelli, of course, on the mediums. Verstappen on the hards, which he has suggested is falling away, not getting any grip. So he was probably a little bit of an easy target. What? Jason Calloway says, you won't win, Dan. McLaren are cheats. I found out in the last race, I'm sorry to say. Cheats, you say, Jason? That's a pretty harsh call. Piastri leads from Russell. Norris in 3rd. Leclerc, Gasly, Ocon, and Antonelli now round out the top 7. Verstappen in 8th. And Verstappen is about to drop out of DRS range from Kimi Antonelli, which puts him right in the firing line of Doohan. Doohan has got DRS on Verstappen. Verstappen, though, just holds on to DRS, and he'll be safe for another lap or two. He'll survive for another lap or two here on that hard compound, although he's now dropping straight back out. Antonelli on the medium, showing great pace, and starts to pull away now from Max. And he is now outside DRS range. And Doohan, if he can hold on to that 1 second, will have a big crack at Max Verstappen on the next lap or two. Star Wars, ahoy there, mate. Star Wars, Ferrari have basically locked themselves into a two-stopper. So the two Ferraris are definitely doing a two-stop because they have already pitted once and they went from mediums to medium. So they have to pull a two-stopper. Verstappen went from softs to hards. He's already complaining about it. It looks like two-stop is really going to be the way to go. I can't imagine that anybody now is going to try for a one-stopper. The tyres are just falling away too quickly. As Hamilton now attacking Doohan down the main straight. Both cars with DRS. Hamilton lunges down the inside, and he has gone sweeping past Doohan. Next in his sight, Max Verstappen. Verstappen 1.3 back from Antonelli outside DRS. And Hamilton is right on the tail of Verstappen now. There's an old rivalry reborn. Hamilton and Verstappen are about to go toe-to-toe once more, and I am here for it. Verstappen, of course, on the hard tyre. Hamilton on the medium. Boy, if that doesn't sound somewhat familiar, right? Hunter says that the Red Bull strategists are in tears on the TV. They need a miracle. Maybe a Williams can strategically find the wall and bring out the safety car. 22 laps of 57 down. Piastri leading from Russell. And Norris, who isn't really making too many more gains here on George Russell at the moment. We will still have another round of pit stops to go. There'll be another round of pit stops still to come. Verstappen's on the radio. I can't even brake anymore, he says. It's just ridiculous. Verstappen, Mad Max, is back. He's really not happy this weekend. Down there in 9th spot. Hamilton has gone past him, by the way. They didn't show that on the screen. But Hamilton has gone past Verstappen and has now opened up a gap. Almost a second. Hamilton up to 8th. Drops Verstappen back to 9. "23 laps of 57. That 1, 2, 3 is looking good for me at the moment. Although Charles Leclerc is almost within DRS range of Lando Norris. Norris is perhaps just harvesting battery as he drops back almost into the clutches of Charles Leclerc there in the Ferrari. Yes, indeed. Almost 5 seconds out in front, Razor. Piastri looking very comfortable. 23 laps of 57 into this race. Down the main straight. And Charles Leclerc is now, importantly, within DRS of Lando Norris. And straight through goes Leclerc. Not even waiting another lap, but Norris comes back at him. Leclerc lunging a little too hard into that corner. Runs deep on exit. And Norris comes straight back through. Leclerc still has DRS, though. And Lando holds him off for now, but this is going to be an ongoing threat. Lando Norris, 1.8 back from Russell, has got Leclerc right on his tail. This is going to be all the excitement now for the next few laps. Can Lando hold off and break away? Was he harvesting his battery, or is he just falling off the pace here, Lando Norris? Another DRS zone inbound as Piastri, 5.1 clear at the front, looking very comfortable. Leclerc gets the rear wing open, but there's not enough distance here on this back straight. The main straight's the place to go for Charles Leclerc. That'll be the place to have a real crack. And late braking there, just running a bit too wide on exit. Lando said, thanks very much, I'll have that back. He is not free from that threat as they approach the main straight again. And Leclerc's a little bit further back on this occasion. Lando obviously using some of that battery perhaps, or perhaps it's Charles who's harvesting at the moment, ready to make another attack in a lap or two. Hamilton on Antonelli. DRS is open. Takes the inside line. Hamilton, as Leclerc now goes through on Norris as well. On the outside this time. Tried the inside the lap before. Goes the outside this time and makes it stick. Leclerc's up into third. Hamilton makes the move stick on Antonelli. Simultaneous overtakes for the Ferraris. Leclerc's up into third. Hamilton up into seventh. One on a McLaren, one on a Mercedes. And Norris now has got to keep himself within DRS range. And he is. That rear wing opens up. He can come straight back now at Leclerc. 25 laps of 57 down. Oh, after Suzuka last week, how exciting has this been already? More excitement out on track. And by the way, I didn't mind the Japanese Grand Prix at all. I quite enjoyed myself still. But this has already been a hell of a lot more exciting. As this one carries on, 26 laps of 57. Piastri from Russell as Hamilton now. Hamilton has got Ocon in the sights. Hamilton has got Esteban Ocon in DRS range. Here he comes, Lewis Hamilton on the inside. Dives down and passes the Haas with no issue whatsoever. Hamilton is up into sixth. Next on his list, Pierre Gasly. Norris has got to watch that DRS range to Charles Leclerc. He's got to try and keep himself in there. Ferrari. They just fired themselves back into this race, didn't they? Leclerc in third, Hamilton in sixth. Matty Colkin, thank you very much for the heart me over there on TikTok. Very much appreciate it, mate. And Hunter raises a very good point. Charles Leclerc is charging in now on George Russell. Only 1.2 seconds behind. Leclerc is just, he's just pulling away from Lando Norris. Ferrari have suddenly found all this pace from somewhere. Leclerc's flying. Hamilton's flying. Hamilton has extended his gap on Ocon. He's got Pierre Gasly in his sights now. Leclerc 1.3 behind Russell. Ferrari. Verstappen is down in 10th. Verstappen is in the pits. Verstappen's come in for his second stop. Max is in for stop number 2. He's getting rid of those hard tires. 27 of 57. What's he going to? He's going to medium. Verstappen switches to the medium, and he will come out now down the main straight. Is anybody coming down the main straight? Verstappen in the pits. Through goes the kick Sauber of Hulkenberg. And Bortolelli, or whatever his name is. And Verstappen comes out in last place. Verstappen exits his second stop in 20th on some new medium tires. He's got to make those mediums now stick for 30 more laps. Max Verstappen. I realize that he has pitted twice. Nobody else has. But Verstappen in 20th just blows my mind. Blows my mind. Lando is very upset on the team radio as he starts to fall away from Charles Leclerc. Piastri has opened up a 6.4 second lead now on George Russell, and Leclerc is only 1.2 behind George in second place, or Leclerc's in third. George is in second, of course, obviously, and he's about to get himself at this pace. He's only a lap or so away from DRS range on George Russell, and second spot, Charles Leclerc, and both Ferraris in all honesty, but Charles Leclerc specifically are having a hell of a drive here. Antonelli into the pits. Antonelli, Hadjar goes through. Alonso goes through. And, he's caught up in the pit lane. He got caught up behind Ocon in the pit lane, did Antonelli, and he now falls behind Stroll in the other Aston Martin, and through also goes Liam Lawson, and that could not have worked out any worse for Kimi Antonelli. That was very unfortunate. He just couldn't get out of that pit lane before Esteban Ocon, and he got himself trapped in behind Stroll and Lawson. Antonelli's already gone back past Liam Lawson. So it's only a minor inconvenience. And did it seem like another slow pit for Red Bull? Oh, this is a replay. Okay, that's a replay from earlier. The lights, the red lights in the Red Bull pit wall are screwed up and they're not changing. A little bit of a technical malfunction in the Red Bull pit lane. Piastri, 29 laps in, Piastri from Russell, from Leclerc, from Norris, who's now dropped 2 seconds back. And into the pits comes Gasly and Doohan. Gasly and Doohan, double stacking for Alpine. .1 second stop time, a little slow. Star Wars says, is Verstappen allowed to pit anymore, or is that his last one? He's allowed to pit anymore. He's allowed to pit again if he wants to. I mean, outside a safety car or a red flag, I wouldn't advise it, but he is allowed to. 29 laps in. Max Verstappen now up to 14th after that round of pit stops. Norris has already served his 5-second penalty in the pit lane. So, yeah, Norris came in for his first pit stop. Hamilton just set the fastest lap. Norris is on the radio. Why is my right red light on? I can't turn it off. Stand by, we're investigating. Lando Norris, there's a red light on in the cockpit. On the right-hand side of his wheel. But yes, Lando Norris served his 5-second penalty in the pit lane. So that is not an issue anymore. It's game on. It's race on. Double Ferrari podium today, maybe. They're going very well. Ferrari, they took the punt. They took the chance. They went against the rest of the grid. And they went for medium for the first stint, medium for the second stint. I mean, honestly, it would be about bloody time that Ferrari have a strategic masterclass, wouldn't it? We're so used to Ferrari ballsing up strategy. It'd be so good to finally see them get it right. It'd be so good. The red light's gone off now, says Lando Norris. The red light has now gone off. Jonesy Boy says, I'd love to see a safety car just because it'd be a lot of fun. Oh, it'd certainly shake things up. A safety car. Sainz is back into 6th. Sainz is back into 6th as he goes past Tsunoda. And Piastri almost 7 seconds out in front now. All that clean air. All that clean air out there at the front. And Piastri is just cruising. 31 laps of 57 gone. Are they going to get all the way? Leclerc has definitely pulled back now. 1.3 seconds from George Russell. He was right on the very brink of DRS range at one point there, but he's clearly pulled back. And he's happy to just settle himself into 3rd spot for now. Perhaps harvesting, obviously, some tyre management. Norris 2.1 back from from Leclerc, sorry. And it's Piastri now 7 seconds out in the lead. 7.1. Piastri in that clean air, having no problems whatsoever at the moment. You know what? Charles Leclerc might screw up my bet here, but I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad. Verstappen is down in 14th, but Verstappen's already pitted twice. Will Max look to stretch that medium tyre to the end? Ferrari definitely have to come in again. It's a given that Ferrari have to pit again. They've committed themselves to another pit stop. Max has already stopped. Yep, Ferrari have to pit. You've got to use 2 compounds. They went from medium to medium. They've locked themselves into another stop. And look, the mediums aren't getting through to the end of the race anyway, so they're probably going medium, medium, soft. Ferrari will likely switch to the soft tyre for their last stint. 32 of 57 laps. Done and dusted. It's Piastri from Russell. Leclerc is almost back in DRS range. Safety car! We have a safety car! We have a safety car. Yellow flag safety car. And this has shaken things up. Who's going to dive into the pits? Oh, pit lane, get ready. The safety car is out. Who has crashed? Who's crashed? Piastri. Piastri's into the pits. Piastri's into the pits. Safety car on lap 33. The pit lane is suddenly very, very busy. Russell's in. Leclerc's in. Norris is in. Everybody's coming in. Piastri, Russell, Leclerc, Norris, all pit. Hamilton's in. The top 5 have pitted. top 5 in. Sainz in 6th. Nowhere in sight. Here he is, Sainz. Sainz is in. Tsunoda's right behind him. Tsunoda's in. Everyone's coming in, but through comes an Alpine. Pierre Gasly has stayed out. Pierre Gasly has stayed out. They're piling into the pits. Gasly has stayed out. Gasly's moved up to 6th spot. Ocon has stayed out. Verstappen has stayed out, obviously, because Verstappen had stopped not that long ago. Verstappen moves up to 8th now. Ocon stayed out, moves up to 7th. Verstappen has not pitted. They still haven't told us who crashed, for God's sake. Who caused this safety car? They still haven't told us who caused this safety. Did they just call it a safety car for the hell of it? Just to shake this race up a bit? We haven't seen a replay. We haven't seen anything that's told us why this safety car has been presented. Hamilton is very happy. Debris from Carlos Sainz, apparently. A small collision. So there you go. Debris on the track. Fatima says, why did they pit under the safety car? What advantage is that? Time. Under a safety car, Fatima, everybody has to slow down and stay behind the safety car. Nobody can race at full pace. Oh, there's the little tap. There was a little love tap there from Tsunoda and Sainz. Yuki Tsunoda and Carlos Sainz have a little bit of a love tap. And there's debris left on the track. Oh, and there's also a little tap from one of the Aston Martins and one of the Racing Bulls. So there you go. Safety car out. Debris on the track. Yuki Tsunoda had a little collision there with Carlos Sainz. Yeah, so basically, Fanama, all the cars have to stay behind the safety car and go at a certain pace. They can't race at full speed. They can't overtake. They can't do anything while the safety car's out there. So the advantage is that, and I'm just going on average, you basically cut your pit stop time in half almost, basically. More often than not, your pit stop time gets cut in half or less, depending on the length of the pit straight. And there's all kinds of things that factor into it, but let's just go with a 50% quicker pit stop time under a safety car. So Leclerc's gone to hards. All right, Piastri is on the medium. Russell's on the soft. Russell's gone to soft. Leclerc's on the hards. Norris is on the mediums. Hamilton, Gasly, Ocon on the hards. Verstappen on mediums. Oh. George Russell has gone the soft. All right, safety car. I'll take this opportunity for a quick break and be right back. Can George the Tire Whisperer get those soft tires all the way through to the end? Surely not. Surely not. Russell gone to the soft. Piastri on medium. Leclerc on hard. Ferrari, this is their last pit stop. Ferrari definitely not pitting again. Russell went to the soft. Did George start on the soft? Safety car is ending here. 35 laps in. Piastri leads from Russell and Leclerc. Norris on the medium compound will be right on Leclerc's tail. Well, that safety car certainly brought a little excitement into our lives, didn't it? Safety car ending down the main straight, and they'll be off and racing again. Jason Calloway says, Razor says Russell only caught up because the safety car, he won't do 23 laps on the soft. All right, safety car is ending. Track is clear. Green flag. We're off and racing again. Piastri. When will he make the break? He's got Russell on soft tires right behind him. And Piastri's gone. Piastri breaks. Russell right on his tail. Leclerc defending on that hard compound. But Norris has a little cheeky look on the inside. Norris goes again. Norris on the inside of Leclerc doesn't get far enough down, but Hamilton sweeps through on the outside. Lewis Hamilton around. Lando Norris and up into fourth. Norris drops down into fifth spot. We've got Ferrari 3-4. Leclerc's through. Leclerc's through. And he drops straight back down. Piastri, Norris, Leclerc. Piastri, Russell, Leclerc. Norris gets back on Hamilton. Oh, Lando's recovered. Piastri, Russell, Leclerc, Norris, Hamilton, Gasly in sixth. Ocon in seventh. What a restart from the safety car that was. Hamilton's on the radio saying Lando passed off track. Hamilton is claiming that Norris passed him off track, therefore would have to give that spot back. As Hamilton here goes down the outside, he's right there with Leclerc, his teammate. And let's see, where is Lando? How does Lando get that spot back? We might see in this replay. Norris. Oh, he has gone off track. Did all four tires go off track there? Norris may have to give that position back or suffer another penalty. Mr. Ed's dead. Ahoy, mate. Lando Norris is told now to give position back to Lewis Hamilton. Norris has been told by the pit wall, give position back to Lewis Hamilton. And he needs to do it ASAP. Here comes Hamilton now. Down the straight, Hamilton given the spot back. Norris overtaking off track. Piastri, Russell, Leclerc, Hamilton. That's the top four. Norris passing off track. Had to give the spot back to Lewis. And Lando. Oh, he's not having a good weekend, is he? Verstappen in eighth spot. Piastri cruising away out in front. Sainz with a lockup as Antonelli attacks soft on hard. Forcing Antonelli wide there. That was an amazing restart from the safety car. Off we go again. Piastri has opened up already a 3.3 second lead on Leclerc. Piastri, of course, on the medium. Leclerc and Hamilton both on the hards. And Norris tries to attack Hamilton. Hamilton covers him off on the inside. And he does extremely well to defend. He'll still be under threat, though. Norris comes back at him on the medium compound. On the outside, Norris sweeps past Hamilton and reclaims that position. Norris is now up into third. We've got Piastri, we've got Leclerc, we've got Norris. Aaron says, let's go, Nando. Russell's out. Oh, Georgie. Norris is back indeed. Hamilton saying this tire sucks on the radio. George Russell's there in second spot. Razor says Russell already losing time on the used softs. Oh, did they switch to used softs, did they? They went to a used soft. Yuki Tsunoda. He's making an attack. Defends well. Alexander Albon has a look down the inside. And he can't get through. Antonelli. Through he goes. Kimi Antonelli through. 39 laps of 57. And sweeping through. 39 laps of 57. Russell has said something weird's going on, by the way. For everyone asking about George Russell, I'm trying to stay updated on it. On the live tracking, George Russell has just completely dropped off the grid. And now it's back. Okay. Something obviously happened with George Russell's GPS. He keeps dropping in and out of the grid. He keeps disappearing, but he is still, I can confirm George Russell is still there on the track. He keeps losing signal. George Russell is just going from second to 20th and then back again. I have no idea what's happened, but something has happened with George Russell's signal that has just completely got him off the track. 40 laps of 57 in. And all the, it's gone chaotic. As far as I'm aware, he's still P2, unless we hear otherwise. All the GPS timing has gone on the fritz. All the GPS tracking has gone on the fritz. As far as I'm aware, he is still out there in second spot until we hear otherwise. On the official Formula One site, on the other Formula One tracking site, there seems to be an issue with George Russell's tracking that has got him completely off the grid. But as far as I'm aware, until I hear otherwise, he is still in second spot. Leclerc's in third. And, everything's going wrong at the moment. The F1 coverage has got replay up on the screen, and even the TV commentators just had to say, I assure you this is not a replay. It's actually happening right now. So there's all kinds of technology mayhem happening out there at the moment. It is Piastri from Russell, from Leclerc, and George Russell and the Mercedes obviously experiencing some sort of GPS tracking issue because Russell has dropped completely off the tracking grid. And even the TV broadcast has gone haywire, saying it's a replay. Lawson and Stroll, incident on turn 4, safety car infringement. Liam Lawson and Lance Stroll, safety car infringement. So we'll keep an eye on that. 41 laps of 57 done. Wilson 120 says Oscar, world champ 2025. That'd be pretty cool. Lewis is on the radio saying the car won't turn. The car won't turn, says Lewis Hamilton. There is an issue. Once again, I'll restate there's an issue with George Russell's GPS. He has fallen off all the tracking. Oh, he's back. Okay. George is back. George is back on the Formula One site. Anyway, there he is, still in second place. We assure you George Russell is still in the race. There's a little GPS tracking issue at the moment that had him drop off the grid. But he is back now, and he is there in second spot. Piastri, though, cruising out to a lead. Norris is down in fourth spot, dropping back from Charles Leclerc. Five-second penalty for Lawson, causing a collision. 5 seconds for Liam Lawson. And we'll see if George Russell can pop back up onto the GPS. 42 laps of 57 done. I need Lando for third spot. Verstappen update. Verstappen is in seventh spot. Verstappen's in seventh. Judah, Shivian, ahoy mate. Verstappen in seventh, but of course he won't be pitting again. He'll be out there to the end of the race, unless there is, of course, another safety car. George is still out there. He's in second spot. He just, something's going on there with the Mercedes GPS tracking. The heat might be affecting everything. Star Wars. The heat might be affecting all the GPS signals as well. We thought we were in for a little bit of excitement there. A little bit of excitement as George dropped off the GPS signal there momentarily. 43 laps of 57. And, the GPS is really playing up tonight. Norris has got Charles Leclerc in his sights. GPS inbound. 43 laps in. Can he do it? Piastri leading from Russell. Almost 2 seconds ahead. Leclerc in third. Norris right on his tail. That's going to be a hell of a fight momentarily as Norris now has the DRS. All right, my bet is back on. Norris has got DRS now down this main straight. Norris will attack Charles Leclerc for third spot. Not close enough. Leclerc holds him off on this occasion, but he is stuck with him now. And the attack will not be far away as Antonelli is down in 12th. Kimi Antonelli down in 12th spot. 44 of 57 laps through this one. So we will try and get this back up and running for everyone. Antonelli there in 12th, as we're on board with him at the moment. Hunting down Ollie Behrman, looking for 11th spot. DRS is open now for Norris. He has another look at Leclerc, but Leclerc, he was a little bit too far back there, Lando, on that occasion. And Charles Leclerc holds on to that spot for a little bit longer. .44 of 57 laps. And it's Piastri from Russell from Leclerc, but Norris is launching an attack. My bet is back on as Norris now has a little look on the inside. He can't get through. No way through on this occasion. George Russell on the radio. Pit wall. We have an issue affecting DRS. It's a timing issue only. I can give you a default to override it. DRS issue for the Mercedes of George Russell. So there we go. Top 10. I'll be able to tell you that when the thing pops back up. Philip Morales. Ahoy there, mate. All right, as we approach the back end of this race, I'll have a quick break. I'll see if we can sort this GPS out in the meantime. Piastri leading from Russell, from Leclerc, Norris, Hamilton, Gasly, Verstappen in 7th, Ocon in 8th. Tsunoda and Doohan round out the top 10. Signs on the radio, they should investigate Yuki because what he did to me was just stupid. Carlos Sainz not happy at all. Sainz side pod has a huge hole. And that has destroyed his race. Whatever race that he had left going. And Lando with a little lock up there. No real damage done, but he has lost some ground, of course, to George Russell as consequence of that. I mean, Charles Leclerc, sorry. Piastri from Russell, from Leclerc, and we're back. Okay, sweet. All right, we have sorted out GPS issues. I'm happy to say GPS issues sorted, and we're back up and running. Fabulous. Hopefully, for the rest of the race. As Sainz gets a radio call back. Oh, he's retired. Is that Carlos? Carlos Sainz, that huge hole in his side pod has ultimately cost Carlos Sainz his race. He has retired. Sainz retired. 47 of 57 laps in. He couldn't keep going there with that gigantic hole in the side pod. And George Russell, I can't help but notice, is still off the GPS. So, yeah, Mercedes still having those GPS issues with George Russell. 10 laps to go. It's Piastri out in the lead. Remember my bet, $10 for a $90 return. Piastri, Russell, Norris. Can Norris make a final lunge at Charles Leclerc here in this final 10 laps? Max is in 7th spot. Verstappen in 7th spot with Gasly in front of him. By the way, Pierre Gasly's done pretty well, hasn't he, there in that Alpine? Holding on to 6th. Down the main straight, Norris has got DRS wide open again, has a little look. Leclerc holds him off again. Karen says Carlos can't catch a break. Poor Carlos. Piastri's on the radio. Remember to use the drink. I would if it was working, he says. Okay, well, 10 laps to go. No drinks for Piastri. It's all right, Oscar. I'll drink for the both of us, mate. It's all good. Razor says Aston Martin cars just not up to it this year. Doesn't help their cause when they gift one of the seats to Stroll. A lot of hate for Lance Stroll tonight in the chat room. Yes, indeed. For some reason, George Russell's GPS has switched off. I assure you, he is still in 2nd place on that soft compound, cruising at the moment. Just behind Oscar Piastri. Well, way behind Oscar Piastri. Something's happened to his GPS tracking. I assure you, though, George Russell is still in 7th. Black and white flag for Doohan. Track limits. Doohan's been done for track limits. 49 laps in. And here's Norris. A lot closer this time to Leclerc. Down the outside he goes, but Leclerc covers it off. Goes the crisscross. And Leclerc cuts him off. How long can he keep maintaining this position, though? Charles Leclerc under constant threat from Lando. Lando has another look at the outside. He's a little bit further along this time. Norris has the outside line. He's pushed off. There was no room there. And he'll be straight on the radio about that one, I'm sure. Leclerc holding on to 3rd spot, but for how much longer? Norris is on the medium. Leclerc's on the hard. And that hard tyre looks like it's really starting to fall away for Charles Leclerc. DRS open again for Norris. He'll have another look. He's a bit far back on this occasion. Down the short straight. George Russell is still in 2nd spot. Just a little GPS issue. A little GPS issue for the Mercedes. I assure you, although George Russell is still in 2nd spot, 50 laps in. Norris is on the radio saying he pushed him off. He pushed him off. Norris, just put your head down and get him again, mate. Don't worry about it. 50 laps in. Norris again with DRS. Not close enough. I need Norris in 3rd spot for my bet. Hamilton in 5th. Deserves driver of the day, says Colin. Norris has already served his 5-second. He served it in his first pit stop. Verstappen closing in on Pierre Gasly. Norris He's about to have DRS again here on Leclerc. There's a chance we lose the dash. Just keep driving normal as that happens, as long as the steering wheel doesn't fall off, says George Russell. DRS open. Norris not making any grounds on this occasion. Leclerc obviously using the battery. 7 laps to go. Turn 1 incident between Lawson and Hulkenberg noted. Seven laps to go. Come on, we just need, for my bet, $10 wager, $90 return. Piastri, Russell, Norris. Down the main straight. Here they come again. Norris. He's much closer this time, but still, Leclerc obviously has that battery powered up. Norris doesn't even get close. Leclerc doing very well to harvest around these laps and hold off the threat. Norris again. He's right on the tail. Carlos Sainz was clipped by Yuki Tsunoda and tore a huge hole in his side pod. Carlos Sainz had no choice but to retire from the race. And he's not happy with Yuki, as you can imagine. Norris is a lot closer on this occasion. This could be the lap. Russell is still in second. His GPS has disappeared from the track. We don't really know why. Tsunoda's in 9th. Verstappen in 7th. So Tsunoda is staying within distance of Max. Norris right on Leclerc's tail. Next DRS zone. It's going to be on. Down the main straight, Norris will have a big look and get that rear wing open. And here they come. Main straight, Norris, rear wing opens. Here he comes. Can Leclerc defend? He's a bit far back, Norris. He'll have a look, though, on the inside, will he? He's a little far back. Leclerc moves to the inside. Norris can't sweep around the outside. And Leclerc defends again, maybe 1 or 2 more laps. Now, DRS opens. Leclerc moves to the inside. Norris stays on the outside. Goes around the outside. Lando, does he stay within track limits? He does. Just. And Norris now sweeps across and defends as Leclerc tries to take position back. And Norris has finally got through and up into 3rd place. DRS infringement for George Russell noted. Lando's up into 3rd. Boy, did he have to fight for that position, though. Lando Norris sweeping around the outside. And with just a few laps remaining, is this going to update? 52 of 57 laps got. There we go. It's updated now. Piastri from Russell, from Lando Norris. And you would think with 4 laps remaining, Lando's a bit far back from George to attack second. Can he open up the space on Charles Leclerc? Yes, he can. He's already opened it up on Charles Leclerc. Verstappen is still down in 7th. Gasly's on the radio. Oh, no, it's only Gasly's pit wall. It's all good. 4 laps remain. Norris. Oh, it's, 4 laps. He's not that far behind. Norris could definitely make an attack here on George Russell before the end of the race. Tsunoda's in 9th, so he is in points position. Investigation after the race. Russell, DRS infringement. Lando Norris is going to have a big shot here at George Russell before the end of the race. Black and white flag for Lando Norris. Better be careful there, mate. Better be careful there. Russell's DRS is broken, yeah, but the pit wall, the Mercedes pit wall said, oh, hang on, Norris radio. Okay. Norris pit wall just let him know, black and white flag, no more track limits, or he'll be done. So, yeah, George Russell is having a lot of issues with his car at the moment. He's dropped off the GPS. George Russell has, for about 20 laps, not been on the GPS for some reason. And he's also, the DRS is gone, but he can apply it manually. So his button is broken, but there's an override. The pit wall put through and said there is an override that you can do, but wait for us to tell you to use it. He obviously didn't quite get that right, and he has been noted for a DRS infringement. A DRS infringement would obviously mean he's probably switched it on too early before the line. Leclerc's on the radio. Wow. Okay. So, all right. They've just told Charles Leclerc on the radio to potentially target second. 10-second time penalty for Liam Lawson. 10 on top of, I believe he already had a 5-second penalty for causing a collision, and he's now got a 10. That's 15 total seconds for Liam Lawson. He is racking up the penalties out there tonight. Verstappen is within DRS on Pierre Gasly. Verstappen targeting 6th place. Nicole. Ahoy there, Nicole. Your F1 app is lagging, so here you are. Well, welcome along. We're having some issues here as well, Nicole. George Russell has, for some reason, disappeared off the GPS tracking. George is also having serious issues with his DRS. George has no DRS. No, I mean, not that it matters for him, because he's 11 seconds behind Piastri out in the front. Can Russell hold off Lando Norris? Norris is surely now within DRS range of George Russell for second spot. Norris is on the radio. Right. Verstappen has got Gasly in his sights. He's a little far back on this occasion, though. Norris in third. He is within a second of George Russell. 56 of 57 laps. Here we go. Norris. Rear wing opens up down the main straight. Norris. Does he have a chance here at second spot? Russell's holding him off. Russell holds him off and defends. 56 of 57. This is my bet. $10 I put. Piastri, Russell, Norris as the 1, 2, 3. Norris comes back at him. Second DRS zone. Russell defends again. Exactly. What kind of penalty will Russell get for the DRS issue? We still don't know about that. It's not going to be investigated until after the race. Pales Daily, thank you very much for the TikTok. Very much appreciate that. There's Norris again. Rear wing opens. Russell under threat. Not long enough. That's straight. Defends again. Max is in 7th spot. He's within DRS of Pierre Gasly, but Pierre Gasly is holding him off for now. Lap 56 of 57. Black and white flag now for Verstappen. Track limits. Last warning for Max. Track limits as well. Final warning. Down the main straight. Final lap. Russell trying to defend against Norris. Rear wing opens. Norris with the DRS. Russell moves to the inside. Norris sweeps down the outside. Norris has to cut back in. Russell defends. They did have a little bit of a touch. Norris tried to take the outside. DRS open again. Russell too far ahead on this occasion. Russell still to be investigated after the race, though. A DRS infringement. He will surely lose 2nd place anyway. Norris is right on his tail. I don't know that there'll be another overtaking opportunity for Lando. Verstappen still within DRS range of Gasly. George Russell in 2nd spot. Under threat from Lando. Rear wing opens. He's too far back on this occasion. Norris. Piastri. 14 seconds from Russell. And Norris in 3rd. Piastri's come through. Piastri down the main straight to win. Makes the final corner. Oscar Piastri. Through he goes to take the victory for Australia, for Oscar Piastri. And Norris is right on the tail of George Russell. Russell, can he hold off Norris down the main straight? Yes, he can. But there will surely be a penalty incoming for George Russell. 2nd, Norris 3rd, Leclerc 4th. Hamilton will come through in 5th. Gasly has got Verstappen right on his tail. And we're now here with Kimi Antonelli in 11th. Can he get through Ollie Behrman into the points? Verstappen has cut ahead of Pierre Gasly to take 6th. Antonelli will not get through Behrman. Piastri, Russell, Norris are your top 3 at the moment. Russell has got a penalty incoming for a DRS infringement. Leclerc in 4th. And if Russell is given 5 seconds, if George Russell is given 5 seconds, he will drop down behind Charles Leclerc. And Leclerc will get on the podium. Hamilton in 5th, Verstappen in 6th. But it is Oscar Piastri. It has been his day. It has been his race. A win for Oscar Piastri. I hope that my bet still gets paid out. So basically, for those just joining, I had $10 on Oscar Piastri, George Russell, Lando Norris, 1, 2, 3. $10 wager for a $90 return. George Russell with a DRS infringement that will be investigated after the race could do me in. Pretty One asks, what's the podium? Okay, so after every race, Pretty One, after every race, they have a presentation for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Kind of like the Olympics. If you're familiar with the Olympics, yeah? 1st, 2nd, 3rd, gold, silver, bronze. And they have a podium presentation at the end of every race. So yeah, it's just called the podium because they go and stand up on the Olympic style raised platforms for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and they get given trophies and they play the national anthem of the winning team or the winning driver. Sorry. So we're going to get to hear the Australian national anthem for Oscar Piastri today. Max finished in 6th behind Lewis Hamilton. Ferrari, 4th and 5th, a strategic masterclass, right? I mean, considering where they started. I'm not used to Ferrari getting strategy right. Lily, thank you very much for the rose. Cheers. Very much appreciate that. Trail 10 says, sorry if you've already answered this, but do you think George still podiums? If he gets given a penalty, he won't. Trail. If he's given a penalty, he was noted for a DRS infringement that will be investigated after the race. If he's given 5 seconds, he will fall behind Leclerc, and Leclerc will take the third podium spot. If he's given 10 seconds, then he may even fall behind Lewis Hamilton. If he's given 10, I don't think he'll be given 10. I don't think he'll be given 10. But if he was, he'd be outside Lewis Hamilton's time. Basically, George Russell had an issue with his DRS. His DRS was broken, but he got a message from the pit wall that said, look, your DRS is cooked, but there is a manual override. But it's important to only use this when we tell you. I can only assume that at some point throughout that race, Russell might have just been a little too early in opening DRS. And George Russell has now suddenly appeared on the GPS again. He disappeared at some point throughout the race. There he is. I mean, nowhere near where he actually is, but there he is on the screen suddenly again. As the fireworks go off here at Bahrain, I'll have myself a quick break and be right back. Oscar Piastri from George Russell at the moment from Lando Norris. We've got McLaren, Mercedes, McLaren. 1, 2, 3. But of course, as we were just discussing, George Russell will be investigated for a potential penalty there, DRS infringement after the race. So may or may not stand at that second spot. We'll see if they pay me out. They might pay me out on my bet already, because I had actually put $10 on this exact result. Piastri from Russell, from Norris, and we'll see if they actually pay me out, because it's still pending at the moment. It'll be pending race investigation. Yeah, they're not going to give me that easily, are they? They won't give me that easily. Jai Marshall, welcome back. There's an interview now with Oscar Piastri. Is he going to do a shoey? Traditional Australian celebration. Not by me. I'm Australian. I won't do a shoey. Well, I mean, I don't really have the shoes for it at the moment. Here's what I'm wearing. This is a open. I don't know if you can really see that, but yeah, it's an open-toed shoe, not really made for doing shoeys. It'd be pretty hard to get that one down. Molly asks if I do these every race. We're very new to it, Molly. Wasted World of Sports. We do the footy. We do rugby union. We do rugby league. We do some professional wrestling. We've now branched out into Formula One. We did the Japanese Grand Prix. I've done this one. It's something that we will definitely keep going. I've been enjoying myself covering the Formula One. I've been a fan for a very long time. Wasted World of Sports, live on YouTube, live on TikTok, live on Facebook, live on Twitch. Bringing you all kinds of sports action and alternative commentary. Jai Marshall says, I did one in my footy grand final after I kicked the winning goal. Nice. Ivan Zolo Patux. Check my avatar. We look alike. Okay, how do I check your avatar? On the podium as it stands right now, Oscar Piastri, George Russell, Lando Norris. But George Russell, after the race, which is now, will start to be investigated for a DRS infringement. Oh, yeah. Look at that. That's me with a Hitler mustache. Wow. I appreciate the effort that you went to for that. What did Lewis do in the China race, please? Was the Chinese Grand Prix the one that both Ferraris got disqualified for the plank wear? Or the car weight? Something like that. So basically, Pretty One, how to explain it? There's all kinds of rules and regulations. So at the end of a race, a car has to be a certain weight. So at the end of every race, they just randomly pull cars in onto a weighbridge, and there's minimum weights, there's minimum ride heights. I think what happened at the Chinese Grand Prix was there was plank wear. There was plank wear, and what that is it's essentially it's just a part of the car that Okay, I'm trying. Can someone help me out in the chat room, please? We're trying to help Pretty One. Pretty One is a relatively new, I believe. I believe Pretty One said relatively new Formula One fan, trying to learn, and I'm trying my best to explain the rules and regulations. And I think they got done for plank wear. So if you're too close to the ground, basically, it's an unfair advantage, essentially. Without getting into all the different sort of technical data, the lower your ride height, sort of like the more. So there's the more airflow, the more aero you get, the faster you can go. There's all sorts of different rules and regulations about minimum heights, minimum weights, because it all assists you in going faster. That's probably the easiest way to explain it. So what happened to Ferrari on that occasion was they were just a little bit, because you'll notice what happens after races. Drivers will purposely go off track. They'll purposely go off track to try and chew up dirt and mud into the tires, because all that dirt and mud that they chew up into the tires adds extra weight to the car at the end of the race. It's a little bit cheeky, but they all do it. All the drivers will go onto the grass on the cool-down lap before they get called into the weighbridge, just to make sure that there's a little bit of extra weight on the car so that they pass those weighbridges. And yeah, I believe that's what happened to Ferrari in China, if I'm thinking of the right race. When Ferrari copped the double DQ, it was either plank wear or it was a weight issue. So they still haven't paid me out for this. I put a $10 bet on Piastri, Russell, Lando. And they still haven't paid me out on that yet. So they are obviously waiting for the investigation into George Russell before they give me that one. Bookies, they're not going to go down easily. So, Wasted World of Sports, I very much appreciate you coming and joining me for this one, wherever you've joined me from, whether it be YouTube, TikTok, Twitch. If you are over there on the TikTok and you do have a YouTube, it would absolutely mean the world to me if you would take the time to check us out on YouTube and give us a subscribe, give us a follow. We are going to be doing this more often for every race. And honestly, if it goes well, which it seems to be going, we'll start doing qualifying sessions as well in the near future. So, yeah, over there on TikTok, if you do have YouTube, Wasted World of Sports, I would very much appreciate you checking us out. What's the likelihood that they hand Russell a penalty? It's really up in the air right now. It's really up in the air right now. It's going to be investigated. We might not find out. It might be like 2021 when Mercedes launched the appeal into the final decision of the. This might not be something we find out for a few hours. I don't think the decision will be made ultimately while I'm still here on this live stream. As it stands at the moment, it's still Piastri, Russell, Norris. They're in the cool-down room right now, and it's the two McLarens, and George Russell is there with them. So right at the moment, Russell is still there in second spot on the podium. They're in the cool-down room. He's still there with them. There's been no decision made at this point in time by the looks of it. So, yeah, we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that because that's my bet. Excuse me. I'm waiting for them to pay my bet out. But I think that the bookmakers are also waiting on the official result of this race. $10 I put on for a $90 profit. Piastri, Russell, Norris. That's your bet as well? There you go. Yeah, so we're both waiting for this. It's up in the air right now, essentially. There's been no decision. Razor says Drivers' Championship is exciting. Certainly is. It's been a fantastic start to the year. I mean, up until this point, there have been 4 races, sprint included. We include the sprint. 4 starts, 4 different winners. Oscar Piastri now has become the first 2-time winner of the season. Pretty one asks, how can I bet? What country are you from, Pretty one? Pretty much just search sports bet. If you would like to put a bet on yourself, bet responsibly, of course. But yeah. Drivers' Championship. Oscar Piastri is now just 3 points behind Lando. Lando holds on to his championship lead. And out onto the podium they come now. Oh, God, I've over. Ghana. Oh, nice. That's pretty cool. I'm from Australia. I think Australia and Ghana are like a long way away from each other. But that's pretty cool. Ghana. Supporters of Formula One over there. That's fantastic. They're out for the podium, and at the moment, George Russell. See, Molly, you're from England. Nice. Cheers, Molly. Yes, indeed. I'm from Australia, and there is our Aussie boy, Oscar Piastri, up on the podium, and we get to hear the Australian national anthem, which honestly is crap. We really have a terrible national anthem. But still, at least we get to hear it in Formula One. It's a rarity. And now we get to hear it again. Oscar Piastri, cool, calm, collected. winner of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Sells Layden says, what about Norris penalty? He served it in his first pit stop. Norris did his 5-second penalty in the pit lane. So he already served it. And now the national anthem of the constructor, the British national anthem, God Save the King. Norris served his penalty in the pit lane and still got third, yes. And probably second, honestly, after Russell gets investigated. God Save the King. It's an Australian Great Britain celebration. Oscar Piastri, race winner. McLaren, race winners. James, great. You're from Nigeria. Oh, very nice. Nigeria, Ghana. Formula One has a huge fan base from the sounds of it all over the world. So we'll keep an eye on what happens there with the possibility of a George Russell penalty. Which will really mess up my bet that I had going on. So there on the YouTube, your final results. Piastri, Russell, still to be investigated. George Russell. Norris, Leclerc, and Hamilton 4th and 5th there with the Ferraris, who Ferrari took a punt. And it certainly paid off for them. Verstappen in 6th ended up getting ahead of Gasly there in 7th. Esteban Ocon in 8th. Yuki Tsunoda in 9th and Ollie Behrman in 10th. What a result that was for Gasly and Behrman. As McLaren celebrates, George will be investigated. But ultimately, I hope it stands, because that was my bet. That was my bet at the start of the race. Piastri, Russell, Norris was my podium. Hopefully it stands. As Oscar slams down the champagne. In celebration. Norris started in 6th, I think. 6th or 7th. 6th or 7th, I'm pretty sure Lando started. Hang on, what's that? +3. Yeah, so he started in 6th. Norris is +3, so he started in 6th spot. They've paid me out the bet. Okay, hey, somebody else in the TikTok chat room had the same bet as me. They've paid us out. They've paid us out. I wonder if that means that Russell has been investigated and cleared. Or if they've just given us our payout. All right, good news, whoever that was in the TikTok chat that also had the same bet as me. We've been paid out as winners. It stands. There you go. Piastri, Russell, Norris. 1, 2, 3. It looks like the decision stands. So the next Grand Prix, I believe, is Monaco. And just a heads up for those. Hang on, let's have a look. Oh no, Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Monaco's still a few away. What year am I in? Okay, Saudi Arabia up next. 21st of April, my time, 3 a.m. again. Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Monday, the 21st of April. So 7 days away. It's in a week. 7 days away. Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So we'll go again. Lando Norris still leads the Drivers' Championship from his teammate Oscar Piastri. Max drops down into third. It's your pretty one. It's your birthday next weekend. That's your birthday, and Oscar will win. Oh, well, you know, here in Australia, I'll save the birthday shout out for next weekend. If you happen to be here, we'll celebrate your birthday with you. And yes, from Australia, we would certainly hope that Oscar gets another race victory and gets himself on top of those standings. And yeah, once again, just before we close up here for the night, Wasted World of Sports. We have basically the exact same. We have the exact same name on YouTube. So YouTube is our primary platform. So if you do have a YouTube, I would very much appreciate it if you check it out on YouTube as well and follow along with us over there. It it would really help there with our subscriber count and all of that. We do stream on TikTok as well. So I mean, if you're on TikTok and you'd like to give us a follow, it means the world to us as well. Oh, there we go. Trail 10, your bet cashed. Yeah, same here, man. Same here. I was just saying before, they paid us out. They paid us out on the bets for that 1, 2, 3 finish. So go us. You immediately reinvested it so they can't reassess later. Very nice. Very nice. That's fantastic. Yes, indeed. It's always a nice night when you get a win. So there we go. All right. Hey, I'll have a quick break. Should I go get my dog? She loves the spotlight. I'll grab my dog and we'll come back and we'll wind things down. More than happy to field any questions in the chat room. I'll pop off for like 10 seconds. 10 seconds, grab my dog, and come back. Oh, yes. She knows what's happening. Here she is to celebrate the McLaren double podium. Piastri from Russell, from Norris. Celebration time here in the land down under. Australian driver winning the Formula One Grand Prix. Oscar Piastri now close behind Lando Norris in the Drivers' Championship. There you go. Do you want to go on your... You hop on your bed. Okay, so any questions or any talking points in the chat room? I'm more than happy to stick around and have a chat. Can be about anything. Waste to Water Sports here. We do the rugby, we do the Formula One, we do the professional wrestling, even though it's not really a sport. We know that, but we like to believe. Gendre. Let's see if I'm saying this correctly. Gendre Lebenberg. Gendre Lebenberg. The race is finished. At the moment, Oscar Piastri has won from George Russell in second and Lando Norris rounding out a double podium finish for McLaren. But at one point, George Russell was being investigated for a DRS infringement, possibly opened up the rear wing a little bit too early. That is being investigated after the race. The fact that it's been investigated after the race says to me that it's probably not that probably not that much of an issue. I can't imagine now that will get overturned. But if it does get overturned, if George Russell does get a penalty, he will drop to 5th, and Charles Leclerc will move up onto the podium. Lord Snow says tyre strategy on Ferrari. We were talking about that a little bit throughout the course of the stream. We're not used to Ferrari nailing their strategies. They took a risk in this race, and they went completely against the rest of the top 10. They had a completely conflicting strategy with the rest of the top 10, and they made places because of it. They've ended this race much higher up than where they started. Lord Snow says, how come Max's tires were quite good at the end? So Max pitted with the safety car. Did he? Or he pitted just before the safety car? Yeah. Anyway, Max ended on mediums. Max ended on mediums when he was surrounded by other drivers on hards, basically. Yeah. So Max finished the race on medium tires. Everybody around him was on the hard tire. So he ended up jumping over the top of Gasly on the last lap, who was on the hard tire. And Ocon, Tsunoda ended up on softs. So, yeah, he was sort of like in a mix of hard tires there, Verstappen. So he had the faster compound. Carlos Sainz, unfortunately for Carlos, the only driver to not finish the race. Carlos Sainz got touched by Yuki Tsunoda, ripped a gigantic hole in his side pod, and could not finish the race. Had to retire. Carlos Sainz, the only driver to not finish the race. Noah, the podium was Oscar Piastri, George Russell, Lando Norris. As it stands at the moment, George is being investigated for a potential DRS infringement. He may drop to 4th, which would put Leclerc on the podium. But that's being investigated after the race. If it hasn't already been signed off, I can't imagine too much will come of it now, basically. It's not like it's ride height or weight or anything like that. A DRS infringement, I think if it's just one slight DRS infringement, I think they might let it go. Norris in 3rd, Russell in 2nd, Piastri 1st. Lando is on 77 points in the championship, yes. And Oscar Piastri right on his tail on 74. As this Drivers' Championship heats up. Constructors' Championship is one-way traffic at the moment. McLaren on 151 points. Mercedes in second on 93. Red Bull 71. Ferrari 57. Ferrari, of course, in fourth because of that double disqualification that took points off them in, I believe, the Chinese Grand Prix. Otherwise, they'd be one spot further up ahead of the Red Bull. So here we go. Lando Norris at the start of the race was ahead of the grid box. So he didn't get a jump start. He was just too far forward. Oh, he did get a jump start. Yeah, he had a little push forward. There we go. Yeah, Lando just had a little shove forward there before the race start, which put him outside the grid box. He copped a 5-second penalty for that. He served the 5-second penalty in the pit lane. So to still get a podium was pretty impressive for him. Pretty impressive. He had a really good start, Lando. It's unfortunate for him that he was ahead of the line there. Really unfortunate for him. Sandia Rampasad. Who do I think will win the Drivers' Championship? Look, McLaren are the team to beat, right? I think we can agree McLaren are the team to beat. And despite the fact that McLaren have not actually come out and said that there's any... sorry, we'll come back to that. They've just shown us the replay of Tsunoda colliding with Sainz. That's the collision that brought about the safety car. Sainz side pod got ripped in half by the back end of Tsunoda's car there. Wow. That was crazy. Just going back to Sandir's question. McLaren have not officially come out and said Lando's our number one. Oscar's our number two driver. They've not officially said that, but I do believe it's pretty clear. This race, there was no choice, really. There were no hard decisions to be made. Oscar qualified on pole, led the race from start to finish. Even after a safety car restart, he led comfortably from start to finish. If Oscar can do this time and time again, then there'll be absolutely no need for team orders or number one, number two drivers. I do believe, though, that despite nothing being official, Lando is considered McLaren's number one driver. And that would mean that he would get preferential upgrades. I mean, if they don't have all the same parts, it would go on Lando's car first before Oscar's. Depends. It really depends where the championship picture is at the time. Lando is still ahead by 3 points in the Drivers' Championship, so at the moment, I think he would still be getting the top billing in the team. So I would say that it is probably still Lando Norris the favorite for the Drivers' Championship. But there's going to be upgrades coming. We're a couple of races away from upgrades. And we'll see where everybody's at after that. I mean, after that round of upgrades, the entire grid could shift, right? We've seen it happen before. Who can out-upgrade everybody else throughout the course of the season, right? So we're about to hit the first round of real serious upgrades. Underfloors will be done. Rear wings will be done. The flexi wing ban will be imposed. I mean, the entire grid could flip. We don't know yet, but yeah. I mean, look, obviously, as an Australian myself, it'd be great to see an Australian Formula One championship winner in Oscar Piastri. But yeah, I think there's a lot to happen to take it off Lando at this point. Hopefully, that was a comprehensive and coherent answer to the question. And thank you very much, Sandair Rampasad, for that question. All right, Wasted World of Sports. It is 3:20 a.m. here in Australia. I'm so glad we stayed up for it, though. Our Aussie boy, Oscar Piastri, with another race victory. And another race victory for McLaren as well. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for joining us here, wherever you've joined us from in the world or whatever social media platform. Wasted World of Sports goes live every single weekend on YouTube, on TikTok, on Twitch, on Facebook, covering all sorts of sports. So if sports and random banter are your thing, do feel free to give us a like, give us a follow, whatever it is. Subscribe on YouTube, a follow on TikTok, a follow on Twitch. We would very much appreciate it. It's been a hell of a lot of fun. For Formula One fans, we'll be back next week for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We'll probably even do the qualifying as well next weekend. Qualifying and race night. Thank you so much. I appreciate your company. Catch you next time. Until then, cheers. And congratulations, Oscar. Saudi Arabian Grand Prix next week.